Hey friends, and welcome back to 5 Minutes with Faith in Motion. Today I want to talk about something that we don't always notice, but it shapes us every single day. The voices we listen to. Not just what we hear out loud, but what we absorb. Social media, news outlets, opinions, fears, our own inner thoughts. Have you ever caught yourself reacting to something and thought, where in the world did that come from? That's the power of influence. Because what we listen to eventually shapes how we think and how we feel and how we respond. And the truth is, not every voice deserves that kind of influence in your life. Psalm 119 says, "Your word is a lamp for my feet and a light on my path." A lamp doesn't light the whole road. It gives you just enough light for the next step. And that's what God's word does. It doesn't always answer every question all at once, but it gives you clarity for what's right in front of you. The problem is, we often let the louder voices override the truer voice. And louder doesn't mean better. Louder doesn't mean wiser. Louder just means louder. John 17, Jesus says, "Your word is truth." Not a version of truth, not a trending truth, but truth. And truth doesn't just inform you, but it forms you. It steadies you when emotions are just all over the place. And it anchors you when circumstances shift. It reminds you who God is and who you are. Because without truth, we start building our identity on opinions. And opinions change constantly. But truth holds. Jesus also says in John 8, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Notice that. Truth brings freedom. Not anxiety, not pressure, not confusion. Freedom. But here's the tension. We live in a world full of noise, and noise creates urgency. It tells you to react quickly, to respond immediately, to feel everything all at once. But truth invites you to slow down, to pause, to listen, to ask, God, what are you saying about this? Because freedom doesn't come from reacting to everything. It comes from responding to what's true. And then there's this deeper layer. Truth shapes identity. So many of us are carrying thoughts like, I'm not enough, or I messed up too much, I'll never change. But God's word says something completely different. It says you are loved, you are chosen, and you are forgiven. And when you let truth shape your identity, you stop striving for approval. You start living from acceptance, and that changes everything. James 1:22 says, "Do not merely listen to the word, do what it says." Because truth isn't just meant to be known, it's meant to be lived. This is where faith becomes visible. It's one thing to hear the truth, but it's another thing to actually walk it out. To choose patience when it's hard. To choose kindness when it's undeserved. To choose trust when emotions and voices are loud. That's faith in motion. And then comes the everyday decisions. Proverbs 3 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart." Not just when it's easy, not just when it makes sense, but when you're unsure. because the small choices you make every day, they shape your direction. And when truth leads your choices, peace follows your steps. And finally, Matthew 24 reminds us, heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. Everything else shifts. Opinions change, seasons change, our circumstances change, but God's word, it stays steady. And when your life is anchored in something steady, you don't drift as easily when the storms come. So here's your step for this week. Instead of asking, what's everyone else saying? Pause and ask God, what are you saying? Maybe it's noticing what voices are shaping your thoughts. Maybe it's stepping away from noise just for a moment. Maybe it's holding on to one simple truth and repeating it throughout your day. And maybe it's speaking truth into someone else's life when they need it the most. Because truth isn't just something we receive. It's something that we carry. And when we live it out, share it, and walk in it, we become steady in a world that isn't. That's faith in motion. Thanks for spending 5 minutes with me and with Faith in Motion. If this encouraged you, please share it with someone who needs a little clarity in the noise right now. And remember, when truth leads, peace follows. Until next time, God bless.